My name is Holly Dixon. I'm 32 years old, and on my birthday, I walked into my parents' house expecting a surprise party, but instead, I found 200 relatives seated in rows like a courtroom, waiting to judge me. My mother ripped my childhood photos off the wall one by one. My father read a bill for $400,000, every cent they claimed they'd wasted raising me, and my sister snatched my car keys from my hand with a triumphant smile, though Dad had already transferred the title to me. I walked out without a word, and 4 days later, they called me nonstop, but I didn't answer. Growing up in the Dixon family, I learned there were two kinds of children, Megan and everyone else. My father, Richard, built a real estate empire and measured success in square footage and profit, while my mother, Patricia, had left teaching for social climbing. And Megan, 4 years younger, was the golden child, impossibly pretty, and the undisputed princess. When I got a full scholarship to a pre-med program at 16, my parents weren't there, and when I graduated top of my nursing class at 22, my mother sighed, wishing I'd studied business like Megan, who dropped out 2 years later. In their eyes, Megan could do no wrong. I could do nothing right. My grandmother Eleanor, however, saw me, loved me without conditions, and when she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 3 years ago, I quit my job and moved into her house to care for her, spending years by her side, while my parents visited rarely and Megan twice. She taught me that strength wasn't about fighting back, but knowing my worth. When she passed 6 months ago, my mother dismissed my grief, claiming she left me nothing, but Grandma had prepared something. And the first warning came a week before my birthday when Megan called about a lawyer's letter regarding her estate. A meeting with Aunt Ruth revealed that Megan and her partner had lost nearly $200,000 in a crypto investment, and my parents were planning something regarding Grandma's estate, not a party. Despite warning signs, I decided to go to the party to see for myself, carrying caution with me. The night before, I reflected on years of swallowed truths, my parents' favoritism toward Megan, the humiliation I endured silently, and how each act of silence had cost me pieces of myself. My grandmother's final letter reminded me to live like I deserved. On the day, the driveway was full of cars, the house transformed, rows of folding chairs, 200 people watching silently. Megan guided me to the long table, no smiles, no balloons, no cake. My father rose, microphone in hand, declaring the need to address an important matter, producing a thick stack of papers totaling $400,000, claiming I owed them for raising me. My mother tore down family photos, including one of me with Grandma Eleanor, as if erasing my existence. Megan grabbed my car keys, boasting Dad already transferred the title. I remembered Grandma Eleanor's voice telling me I was enough. I asked my father if he had read the will. He hadn't. I refused to sign under duress, walked toward the door, and left, Danny waiting in the car. For 4 days, my family called, texted, begged, while I turned my phone off, finding solace in Grandma's memory box. Inside, her final letter revealed she had anticipated their moves and arranged everything, instructing me to trust Mr. Whitmore, the lawyer. At his office, I learned the will left the house solely to me, not split among the family, and a coercion clause meant anyone attempting to force me to surrender it lost all claims. Aunt Ruth, present as witness, confirmed Grandma had known all along I was the only one who truly loved her, and that my family's assumptions were wrong. I cried tears of relief for the first time in months. Calls and messages became frantic, revealing their shock and attempts to manipulate me, but I stayed silent. On the third day, they appeared at my door, pleading for conversation, claiming family unity and Megan's debt required my help. I calmly reminded them that Grandma had clearly specified her wishes and that Megan's troubles were her own responsibility, not mine. My father attempted to argue, my mother to guilt, Megan to manipulate, but I held firm. The house belonged to me, legally and morally, by my grandmother's intention. I stepped back, closing the door on them, asserting that I would no longer be erased or humiliated, that my worth was not defined by their approval. With Mr. Whitmore, I confirmed the house transfer, restored my car ownership, and learned that my grandmother's foresight had protected me from their coercion. The fallout reached beyond our family. Friends, neighbors, and even business associates distanced themselves from my parents, leaving them to face the consequences of their own actions. Megan eventually had to sell her house, move back with my parents, and face the repercussions of her financial mismanagement. I felt no triumph, only relief and a quiet peace, knowing I had reclaimed my dignity. In the weeks that followed, I built a new life filled with chosen family, Danny, Aunt Ruth, and supportive coworkers, while I settled into Grandma Eleanor's house, preserving her essence while making it my own. I sent a final message to my parents explaining my boundaries and need for distance, which went unanswered, and I didn't mind. I realized that the family I had always longed for existed in those who loved me unconditionally, not in those tied by blood. Sitting on Grandma's porch, watching sunsets and listening to birds she had loved, I understood at last. The inheritance was never about money. It was proof that someone had seen me, believed in me, and given me permission to choose myself. For 32 years, I had waited for acknowledgement from a family that could not give it. Now I had it, and with it, freedom, peace, and the knowledge that I mattered just as I was. I would honor Grandma Eleanor by living fully, on my own terms, and letting the past remain where it belonged, behind me, as I stepped into a life of my own making, surrounded by those who truly valued me, safe in the knowledge that love and worth were never about obligation or expectation, but about being seen, respected, and cherished.